Hey, it's Sally. So for my YouTubers, this is this tiny little bit in the beginning, and the rest, for those of you who are just YouTubers, you can click off of if you don't care. I'm not putting any tags or links or anything right away. I'm gonna wait until Wednesday to do that. Because the rest of the video will be for a school assignment that I'm trying to do a little bit my way, because a part of it I am more interested in talking about it than typing about it, because it's just so hard for me to get my words out the regular way, whereas I just am more comfortable talking about things, especially something like this. And I'm hoping nothing's gonna reverberate from the floorboards, because it is Sunday night here, and they know I'm working, but they don't know that I'm making a video as well. I kind of was subtly hinting at it, but it's like, I'm not gonna explain it. So the two little things for my YouTubers, like I've said in the past, I do plan on doing the Pokemon thing. I'm still gonna wait till Crown Tundra, because I'm probably just gonna redo the beginning thing. I don't think I'm gonna have the time to do it. I want to have the time to do it, but I'm in 2 classes right now, so I'm hoping that maybe I might do something with Masked Singer. I actually had an opportunity to possibly be one of the audience members, but not in person because of the current predicament with a lot of shows right now. But I decided to go against it. I'm just gonna watch it like I normally do the rest of the year, because luckily enough they are pre-recording everything. I don't know how many weeks they're already in, but they're gonna do that stuff. The other update is I got my tooth. I had the temporary on. I don't know if I had a video with me in the temporary, but now I got my permanent cap, and it's porcelain and it is filled, so I don't have to deal with something like this again. Ugh, if I could go back and get that fixed, I would. And if I could and if any of you guys are dental people and you know a way to do it without having to take the tooth out and fill it, comment down below. So for the rest of the time period, it's gonna be me talking about some children's books for those of you who are so interested that aren't a part of my class. And hi, class people, I hope you guys had a good week this week. Then you're fully welcome to listen, but this is gonna be, I'm not gonna try and make it sound like I'm rambling, especially towards the end. I'm putting the thing that's the reason why I'm doing it this way at the end, because it's the thing I care about the most. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to go through this as best as possible. So for discussion board, we were given the task to look at some book series, mainly just the reviews. We didn't have to read the books if we didn't want to. And I'm gonna pause this because I just realized I forgot the books that I do have. And now I'm back with the book. Well, it's all for just the last one I'm talking about. So we were given the task to look at a couple of book series that are probably, I don't know, one of them I read in 3rd grade. I'm trying to remember which ones I read in 3rd grade, if I'm being honest. 2 probably 6 to junior high, maybe like 7th grade at tops. I don't know if 8th graders would read. There's only one book in here that I think 8th graders would read. No offense if I'm wrong. I didn't go full depth for the research. I was gonna try to, but then I found out it was discussion board, so it's like I was trying to do the best I could, and plans got away from me. Yay, Labor Day. So I'm gonna start with the book from the least connected to, let alone knowing about, to the most. And I'm already at 4.5 minutes. So the first one is a book series called Bone. It's a graphic novel. It ran from the 90s to 2001, so pretty much it's 9 years of my life. And so when it finished, I think my public library has one of the volumes, if they still do, because they do, but they do this twice a year, book sales. Usually they're trying to get rid of their paperbacks and trying to keep their hardcovers depending on what the books are, so It depends. And it is from what I gathered, it was a story about this one character, and the thing is, the characters are completely blank. It's like they're just a shape, which was kind of probably why I never really got into it. It's like the backgrounds were more detailed than the characters. The main character travels with a couple of his cousins, which I'm going to be also talking about like similarities between these books, but that's going to come towards the end, probably before I get into the last book, mainly, if not after the last book, but I'm trying to make this less than 30 minutes, I'm hoping. And pretty much the main character and his cousins get all separated, and they end up being on their own journeys until they probably find each other again. Like I said, I didn't go in depth for too many of these because I thought we only had to worry about one, and I thought this was going to be an in-class thing. There's two commonalities throughout all these books I can see, depending on how you, define certain words, but I'll get into that towards the end. So the next one was a book that I believe is newer. I mean, I never heard of it before this time. It's called Zoe and Sassafras. I was starting to look it up when I had to stop. So honestly, the only thing I saw was most of the cover. It was very orange and looked like a girl in science clothes, like a lab coat, goggles, and possibly a cat. I hate saying it, but I didn't get any farther than that. So anything I say commonality wise, I'd say disinclude this one because I don't know for sure, and I'm kicking myself for it, but I'm willing to admit it. I'm willing to admit when I don't finish doing what I want to do, but that's because of Monday, Tuesday, I had to go to places, one being the dentist. Wednesday, I did yard work, and Thursday was my only main day off, really. And then Friday worked, Saturday worked, and had something installed. And then today I had to do a little yard work, even though I thought I wasn't going to have to. Because I thought it was going to be, as well as some other viewing stuff. So, yeah, I'm afraid Zoe and Sassafras, I have no idea, so I'm hoping my classmates might know and comment to me if you think I should have looked more into it. But like I said, I think it's a newer book series because I had never heard of this before, and every once in a while I will go in depth for some book stuff, mainly fairy tales retelling in different ways, which I will get into probably in another discussion board video. So the third one, I can also admit I have not read, but I've seen 2 of the 3 movies and a little bit of their TV series episodes or specials. How to Train Your Dragon, which is a book series that DreamWorks decided to make into a trilogy, which is actually the only way they would have, the book's author, I think, or the company was going to agree to let them make the movies in the first place. I actually found this in one of their behind the scenes kind of things for the second book, and I thought, okay, I cannot wait for the third movie. Sadly, I still have not watched the third movie, even though it's been a few years. I'm still planning on watching it. It's just the fact of it took a while. It's about a boy named Hiccup it's during a time of Vikings. It's not, I don't think it's an exact time period outside of customs and traditions that you see, like what you see in the second film. For those of you watching it, I'm not spoiling people for those who haven't seen any of the films yet. There's a tradition there that I know Vikings do among other cultures, which for their burial/mourning process, and it is an amazing thing to see. It hurts, you're mourning, but it's an amazing thing to see. It's about him coming into his own, which is a big commonality throughout all the books outside of Zoe, obviously, since I don't know. I don't want to keep saying that, so bear with me. This is the last time saying I did not read Zoe. I don't know that much about it. And so I'm guessing that if pretty much every other book has these 2 commonalities, I'm guessing that book series does too. Um, so, and the thing about it is, it's him. It's basically a hero's journey mixed with fighting for what you believe in or what you feel is right. And I mean, most of my viewpoint is coming off the movies, but I'm guessing they relate it closely to the books. I'm praying they closely relate to the books, because it's like, I almost wanted to read the books, but because of when this stuff came out, I was happy with the movies. And the artwork kind of behind the scenes books that they sometimes come out with. I've got stuff for two other book series that one's coming in next month for its final book thing, unless they do more for it. The main character, Hiccup, is not the popular person. He's pretty much almost considered like an outcast, because he's like the exact opposite of what the Viking culture stands for, at least in the DreamWorks version. And actually, I'm gonna get into this now, because I feel like the way they describe it I'm gonna repeat this though at the end with the next section after I review the books, but I'm only gonna say the one of the two things, because ironically enough, this is the only thing that has two appeals, at least in my viewpoint. I really relate to the main character. There's another character I kind of relate to as well, but mainly because he's sweet, but mainly I relate to the main character, Hiccup, so much that, except for one thing, it's like, Hiccup does stand up for what he feels is right, and I try to do that, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. I call it gaining a backbone, and he gained his, especially by the time he got to the third film. I know it's a good series, and the thing, ironically enough, I view this book, like, even just like from the couple of drawings I think I saw in one of the books, like, that's from the book. Because I really, like I said, I didn't read these books. Wish I could have, but I didn't. Because I think they were, even if they were published around my time, it's like, I don't think they were a big franchise. Ironically enough, for my classmates, one of the books from our fantasy genre, like for the summit I'm in with the 4 genres, the Dragon Slayers Academy book we could choose for our fantasy genre reminds me of this, only there's one difference in it. How to Train Your Dragon's Viking. Dragon Slayers Academy is Arthurian mythos. And that just, like, maybe because I was reading Dragon Slayers Academy, I just didn't want to read two of the exact same book. Because pretty much the main characters are almost the same. They're both timid characters that are very intelligent but not very strong physically. That I really hope you can't hear what's my parents are watching downstairs. That it, because I really didn't notice if those books were out, whereas the Dragon Slayers Academy actually was in this, like, kind of the bookmobile thing, like, that you can spin, and that right out in front in the elementary. And I remember where those were at. I know that's where they kept them, and they probably still kept them until they probably, if and when they ever gave them away, which I hope they never did. Because the Dragon Slayers Academy is a good book series. So when we get into the fantasy genre, yeah, you're gonna hear a lot with that one. Though I'm gonna have to reintroduce myself. But like I said, because of that, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because I would have already related to the book series if I had come across it when I was younger instead of as a movie. Sorry, nail cleaning out, trimming. So those are the books I have not read, though I still kind of count How to Train Your Dragon as half read, because I watched the movies and looked into a little bit of stuff that went behind the scenes, like to make the movies that was based off the books, which they do include in like those kind of books for the movies. So now into the last two books which I did read growing up. Now the first one I do not own any unless I got them from a antique store or book sale, but I just never saw the appeal out of just reading them. I really never cared to reread them after I got out of elementary school or junior high. So, but I do know them. I read pretty much, I think, both main series. I don't know if I read any specials though. The Magic Tree House book series, I did read, and Osborne, I love the book series mainly for so I'm gonna be re-saying it again at the end because I'm gonna say like what the appeals are. Is the adventure, and that's the thing I really don't care about most of the time. I'm not really an adventure person. I'm the bookworm that's like the one trying to tell you not to do something or telling you how to do something in a sense of trying to help you and not telling you what to do. So I'm like the timid, intelligent trope character in book series, if not and TV. That's me. So it's like I never thought I'd be, but the thing is, the two characters in this, the main two characters, which are brother and sister, the brother is just like me too, so that's probably what drew me to it, as well as the types of adventures, because the first 28 books, they call the quests are all for this one character, and ironically enough, this has a Arthurian mythos weaved into it, which because Magic Tree House is provided by the sorceress Morgan Le Fay, and from Arthurian mythos. No joke, I actually was doing my research, more of my research this morning to make sure I had everything, not just from my memory. So everything is provided by her, and from what I can remember, it's that they start with the alphabet, and then I don't know what happened after that point. I think it was like the trials for Morgan Le Fay, and then from books 22 to 55 were what they called the Merlin missions. So another character from Arthurian mythos. And I remember the first how many books were based off the alphabet. I remember, and that I also only because I saw one at an antique shop on our way home from a doctor appointment. Some of them were based off the days of weeks. I don't know if that's the first arc or the second arc. And I know they came out with a bunch of holiday or special books. Some are holiday, some are regular, which I will get into with the last book series, what the difference, because this is how Scholastic works. This book series and the next book series are definitely Scholastic books. I don't know about How to Train Your Dragon though. And this one is the hero's journey, in a sense. Usually whatever the task is, or they usually finish by the end of the thing, overcoming any and every obstacle. And it was a good series. I know I finished the book series, at least the first arc, if not both arcs, but I thought I read the Merlin missions. Would I read this to my kids? Definitely. I would definitely try to get these books for whenever I have kids. And now we're on to the fun part. If you have lasted this long, thank you. But if you are my classmates and you've lasted this long, you're in for some more fun. So the last, and the teacher knows this, the last book series in the group that she, as a suggestion, was the Rainbow Magic series. That, Dragon Slayers Academy, Bailey School Kids, and possibly, this might have come a couple grades later, was possibly Goosebumps, but mainly, I'm not even including Goosebumps. Actually, I'm gonna say any variety version of a fairy tale, like Cinderella. I can't remember where she's like, it's more disco almost, or new age. I'm not sure. There's a cowboy version. Every variety version of Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty. Anything that wasn't Disney but was a variety, like it put in a different culture. Like I'm trying to think of what you can compare it to. The foot-faced girl is a native. I'm not trying to be. I just can't remember which culture it's from. Has its own U.S. variety or UK version of variety fairy tale to it. But yeah, this book series was. I'm not just saying this. I actually come back to it to this day, like every year, maybe every other year, usually every other year. I come back to it, see if there's anything new, see if there's, and kind of go through stuff. I actually own the books. Now this one I don't own. This is from my library. I got it right when I got the books from the genre stuff that I needed. This is the first book of the. I know it's flipped, but I don't know if it's gonna be flipped when you guys see it. Of the Rainbow Magic series, which is the first 7 books, and what the whole series is based on. Ruby the Red Fairy. So I'm gonna go. This is the biggest thing. So I'm hoping I can be 9 minutes, maybe a little over. This is gonna be probably where some of the cut stuff is, if not simplifying everything else more than what I already said. So this was brought from the UK, which I didn't know until way later when they got into other variety books, because when you start looking up stuff to buy off of Amazon or any books review websites, and you have suddenly have 2 versions of something because of culture, or that somebody doesn't have something because they weren't providing it in that country, you look up that stuff. Which actually I do own one of the books. This is the US version, which is Stacy, a soccer fairy. Her name is Francesca, and she's a football fairy in the UK. Now I've only got the Americanized version, so sorry. And then besides the set series, they also do special single books, usually going off of holidays, certain things, like the royal wedding they even did, but which makes sense because it was based in the UK. Here's one of the books. It's called Destiny the Rockstar Fairy, and they're usually a lot thicker. I don't know what else they really include in here. I haven't actually went through these in a while. And usually they are a book set from in the beginning to up to a certain point. They were set a 7, and then with certain ones, like there's a one where they're fairy tales. There's some that are just U.S. only, as well as ones that names were changed, just like Francesca / Stacy, which it kind of was interesting to learn. Like I said, when I found that out. So some are shorter, you have less books in them, but after a certain point they started just doing, because they're still ongoing, now they just do 4 books to a set series, and like some of the other books series, they also are hero story, it just takes 7 books, or 4 to 7 books to get to the end of that. I called with this one seasons, because just like TV series, they have their seasons because of how many set seasons there are, or series. I do that with anime too, that they aren't just one big thing. So I actually can show the back of this with the 7 books here. Ironically enough, 2 of them are changed for the US, and the first one, which is the yellow and the indigo fairies, but it's about 2 friends who are practically sisters. So this is where I was saying that the term family can be a little bit flexible because of these 2. End up saving a fairy. I don't know if it's the fairy queen in the first book. In fact, let's go look. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. They save Ruby. Save Ruby, who was trapped under a pot, like when you think a pot of gold. And that's how it starts. The king and queen of the fairies, Titania and Oberon, bestow them away to visit the fairy kingdom. After this, they find the 7 fairies and help make sure they're. Usually they lose a wand. In the case of a couple of series where it's an animal, they lose an animal and they have to find them. There's something that's missing or taken, because this one actually does have a villain to it, which is Jack Frost and the other mean frost goblins. I am not kidding you. And usually it's because of Jack Frost that these fairies need help from the 2 girls. And because of the name thing, it's like some are changed, so they might have used the other name later or at some point. So there's like 1 or 2 that have like the same name, I think. Usually, a lot of times whatever their name, for this, especially with the set series, their names relate to what their thing is. Like for Ruby's the color of red, gem, so and hence red. They also their colors are scented too, apparently. I remember that, but I can't remember everyone's scent, so I'd have to go look at that. Some have, with the special ones, it might not be as accurate. Like I know with the 2 royal family books, they named them after Prince George and someone else. But when it comes to those, they aren't as accurate. I mean, I could go and get my phone and look at the list of the name stuff, but then we would be here all night. So, and pretty much it goes from there with the colors. Then the next one's the weather, where they were trying to find these weather feathers, I think. The third one's party, which I barely remember, and then my next one, which is my favorite one, the jewel fairies, which also the jewels wands or jewels that they have also have a special ability, and all the jewels are birthstones. So in my case, I would have the power to grow and shrink things if I was this fairy. And the 5th one is pet keepers, and then so on and so forth. They go into so many varieties, and they don't really repeat themselves. And actually, I have my nickname. I have a fairy too named Allie, and she is the fairy of dolphins. And this is part of the nature, pretty much the ecosystem, one of the 2 ecosystem kind of set series. But yeah, this is an amazing series. I've been reading this since I moved to where I live at now. So for about, let's see, it's 2001. Or 2020 and 2001. About 19 years I've been reading this over and over. And it's like, I love the artwork. I love the story concept. I love the variety. Which brings me into I'm going to go into what I like about the books. And then I'm going to go into the commonality of the books next. And then we are done. So, because then I gotta type all this out. So, what I liked about the books, and actually I just wrote this down because I was making sure I had everything I need to. Actually I might just go into the commonality. All of these books, with the exception of Zoe and Sassafras, since I don't know, are the hero's journey. Magic Tree House, How to Train Your Dragon, and Rainbow Magic definitely are like this because of my knowledge of them. Well, in a sense. Bone, because from the research I do, it sounds like it's the hero's journey. Like I said, I don't know about Zoe and Sassafras. If any of you guys did get into that one, tell me if it's like the hero's journey or not. But yeah, these are all, whether it's acquiring an item, finding a person, making sure a certain event happens, or etc., it's the hero's journey. There might be some psychological, there might be some. And for the Rainbow Magic Fairies, it's like how things work, so like the etymology of it all. What I like about for Rainbow Magic, I just love it for its variety. That it's like you're not dealing with the same fairies every season or series or season, whatever you want to call it. Same thing with the Magic Tree House. They don't do the same thing. Like the alphabet ones they did was the alphabet, so it was a variety. Day of the week they did something like turkeys for Thursday for Thanksgiving. I believe that was, because Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday. If that's the book I saw at the antique shop that I did not buy, and I should have, so I could have proved my point. How to Train Your Magic, but also I like Magic Treehouse. I really didn't see it for its variety. I saw it for its adventure, and this is the only book series I ever was interested in adventure until I found Percy Jackson and Cirque du Freak, which wasn't until I was in 7th and 8th grade. How to Train Your Dragon, going more off the movies, but like I said, I believe most of this is also based in the book too. The main character is similar to me, so it's the appeal. Damn it! Sorry, I've had an issue and now I'm scratching myself. My legs a little. So as well as a variety, but when I mean variety, I mean the dragons. Come on, people. Shoot. The dragons are what made me like the series probably just as much as Hiccup did. The Zoe book, like I said, I barely got a chance to look at it before I had to shut my phone off. It looks cute. I probably would give it a shot. And then Bone, I hate saying it, but that's the only one that doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. Like I said, I'm not normally a hero's journey person. Percy Jackson, the Rainbow Magic and Magic Treehouse are probably what drove me to that kind of genre, but they didn't keep me in that genre. It's the same thing like when you tell me about, if you want to get me to look at a romance TV show or movie or comedy TV show or movie, it's gotta have something else in it to keep me appealed. Usually sci-fi, fantasy, or horror. Usually. Otherwise it's like, ugh. So I'm afraid that Bone is the only one I don't know if I would ever read or recommend. So shrug. But yeah, I'm hoping that my teacher will accept this along with my text description, which I'm going to start typing out now before midnight rolls around and my dad wants the room back. I'm hoping you guys enjoy this, and if you do enjoy this, and whether you're a classmate of mine or if you are not and just a viewer of my videos from time to time, comment down below if you have read any of the books, and in the case of How to Train Your Dragon book, seen the movies, and if you have read or seen any of this, what you like about it, and if you would recommend it to anybody else. And spread the word about these series, because they are here to stay and they've been part of our culture for a long time, just some people haven't realized it yet. This is Alex signing off. Click like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Comment, like I said, comment down below which book, if you have read any of these book series. And if not, then I would say give them a shot. If you got a kid at home and you're trying to find something for them to read or do, I definitely recommend the Rainbow Magic series. Heck, I even drew the characters for my time, not just to until I could finally get the books actually. But yeah.